Hey everyone, welcome to another day. So today we are going to complete our tuple part. So in our previous day we have completed half of the tuple topic, and today we are going to complete the rest of it. Okay. So today what are we going to discuss? So today we are going to discuss about extended unpacking with star or splat operator. So let's discuss about this operator. So for that, again you can see my code is already here, and what I am going to do, I am going to use this code and I will create a separate cell and I will do everything there. Okay, and later on we will come back to this section. Okay, so far you know about tuple, so far you know how tuple works and everything, correct? Great. So now we are going to talk about this extended unpacking with star. So and okay, so let's say I have a tuple like this called scores, which has values like 85, 90, 72, 88, 76, 94, 65, and that's great. And now you know about unpacking concept, right? That we discussed in our previous days also about unpacking concept. If you haven't seen that video, you can check that out. Okay, so now what does it mean unpacking? Again, I'll give you the idea. So in my tuple I have multiple values, right? So now I can unpack this list where for each value, for each of the value, I can have a variable, like let's say num1, num2, num3, num4, num5, num6, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, num7 equal to scores, and you will see the code will work. Why this code is working? Because my tuple was packed with numbers and I have unpacked them. So I have created 7 variables for 7 values inside my tuple. So if I now print the num1, you will see 85. If I print num2, you will see 90. If I print num3, you will see 72. If I print num4, you will see 88. If you print num5, you will see 76, and like that. Now let's say what I want. I want 85, 90. Okay, like I want to store 85 in num1, 90 in num2, and then the rest of them I want to store them in a single variable like num3, let's say. So num1 should have 85, num2 should have 90. Now num3 should be num3 should have all these values together I want. Now how to do that? And that's why this extended unpacking comes into the picture. So again, num1 for 85, num2 for 90. Now num3, like if I execute the code like this now, I'll get an error most likely, and I'm getting an error, too many values to unpack, correct? Why too many values to unpack? Because I have 7 values here and I'm trying to unpack them with only 3 packets, which cannot be possible, correct? So just to give a star on top of it. Now just execute the code. Now you will not see any error. Now what happened? Let me print num1, num2, num3. Num1, num2, great, num3. See, now num3 has all the values 72, 88, 76, 94, 65. See, it has all the values. So if you want to unpack like this, you can unpack like this using this star thing. Okay, all right. Now there's another thing. Now let's say there's another scenario I have. I'll just delete this cell so that I can explain properly. Okay, so let's say another example. Let's say now what I want, let's say 85 should be num1, 90, 70 to 88 should be in num2, and then 76 should be in num3, 94 should be in num4, 65 should be in num5. If I try to do that, how it can be possible? Now for that, the first thing that you need to do, first num1 comma, no problem. So num1 will have this 85. Now num2. So you know, right? Num2 means what? Num2 means a 90 here. But what I said, I want 90, 70 to 88 together in num2, right? Again, I'll handle it later. Okay. At the end, I know 76 should be num3, right? I just pass num3 here. Then 94 is in num4, right? Then 65 is in num5 now, right? Equals to scores. Okay, correct. And now, as I said, I want 70 to 88, 76, 72 to 88, 76 in num3. I just give a star here. Sorry, give a star here and execute this code. See, I got the code. Now if I check my num3, can you see I am getting 70 to 88, 76 here? Correct. So this is how you can do if you want to do something like this. Okay, I hope you have understood this extended unpacking concept, and this is the same example I have showed you here. You can see same example. Now next example, unpack first 2 and the rest. I guess it's mostly the same example, but still I'll just show you this example separately. Unpack first 2 and then the rest. So you know, right, if I called, like I have the value called scores, right? The scores has values 85, 90, 72, 88 and all. If I call sorted and then if I call scores, I am able to sort my data, and it is in ascending order because it's from smaller to the higher. So it is the ascending order thing, right? Now let's say I am saying reverse equals to true, then it will become descending order sorting, right? And since when I called sorted and when I provided the tuple inside it, I got the list as an output. So what I want to convert that into tuple. So I will just call tuple and I will convert it to tuple. So if I execute the code now, you will see this list is converted to tuple. No issues, great. Then what we need to do, right? What do you need to do? So then what I want, unpack first 2 and the rest. So now you have your tuple and you know how to unpack. So this is the top 1 comma top 2. So top 1 will be 94, top 2 will be 90, and then the rest give like top 3 equals to, so star I have given, that means what, pick 88, 85, 76, 76, 65, everything, right? If I just see print the top 3, see I got the rest on top 3, and in top 1 and top 2 we will have the values. Okay, and this is the same thing that discussed here. I hope you have understood this part also. I will just delete this cell as you have understood it. Okay, and this logic is also the same logic. So what does it mean, the underscore in Python? So underscore in the Python is some convention that we follow. So like let's say I'm just copying this code again and explain it to you. So the code that you can see here, unpack first and ignore the rest. So head, so scores are the values like this, right? And unpack first means unpack the first element. So if I again execute the code, so scores will come. These are the scores that I have, right? Now let's say if this is my scores and I am seeing head, so head means the first one 85, it will pick up the 85, then star underscore. Now that means what? All these values we are talking about, and underscore is the variable which will contain the values. Now what is the significance of the underscore inside Python? So sometimes whenever we call any function inside Python, again if you do not know about function, don't worry, we will discuss, but just for your understanding I am explaining to you. Whenever we use some functions or whenever we call something, like I call tuple, right, on this case, right, here I call tuple, I call sorted, right. Sometimes what happens that few parameter we don't need in my job or in my coding. Like let's say what I'm saying, out of this many numbers or out of this many scores, I need only the first one, I do not need the others. But you cannot access this only number by just calling it this way, right? So you have to call it like this way. So sometimes when you want to ignore anything, like here I want to ignore this 90 till 65, right? So we use underscore. Underscore means same thing. Again underscore is also one variable only here. Okay. But since I am trying to ignore this one, that is why I am using this underscore. Unpack first and ignore the rest. That's why we're doing that. Okay. Like if I execute the code and if I print the underscore, you see all the values, but underscore means ignore them. So now tomorrow if any developer is coming and they are trying to read your code, and if they see this underscore, they will understand that okay, for this code I need only the 85, I do not need the other numbers. So the developer will understand it. So this is a kind of a convention that we follow. Okay, I hope this part is fully clear. Great. Now let's talk about unpacking in for loops, very common pattern. So loop you are already knowing right now, so you should be pretty good on looping concepts, correct? So what we do, we discuss about loop. So you can see I have list of coordinate tuples. So you can see I have something called a list. I have one list. Inside this list I have multiple tuples. One tuple, two tuple, three tuple, four tuple, like that. So I have total 5 tuples inside my. I have total five tuple inside my list right now. Okay. Now, what I am trying to do. So I know if I run a loop on top of this cities, again, what I do, I'll just show you with my hands for better explanation. So you have something called cities like this, and if I say for city in cities, and then if I say print city and execute the code, I'll get each and every tuples. And why I am getting like this? Because these tuples are inside one list. So inside a list, each tuple is one item. So if I run a loop, I can access this. I can access these values. Now I have these 3 values. I have Mumbai. I have 190760. I have 728777, right? So now as you know the unpacking concept, right, that means now this each value can be unpacked also. So now if I say like this, let's say city comma lat comma long, then if I print with an f string, let's say city, then and then I say like this dot this, let's say lat, let's say long. See, so since each item is one tuple, I can apply tuple and unpacking on top of it also. So city is the so in first iteration it picked up this entire tuple, correct, and then this is an entire tuple. and you can apply unpacking on top of it. Now city is Mumbai, lat is this value, and long is this value, and same it has printed here. So in the second iteration, it is picking this tuple, and in this tuple city is Delhi, lat is this 28 something, and long is 77 something. Same for all of them: Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata. So this is how you can run a top up or loop. Sorry, that is why you can run loop on tuple. I hope this part is clear. Okay, great. I just execute the code just to show you that how it works, and this is how it works. Okay, great. Again, unpacking with underscore to ignore values. So same example. I'm not going to explain the same example. You have understood it better now, I believe. So I think if you see this code, you can easily understand this code. Okay, now we talk about nested tuple a bit. Okay, so a nested tuple is a tuple that contains other tuples as its elements. This is how you represent 2D or multi-dimensional data with tuples. So what kind of things we are talking about? So this is one kind of 3 by 3 matrix represented as a tuple of tuples. You can see you have something like this. So you have multiple tuples inside one tuple, right? That is called matrix, right? So now how we can access elements on top of it, let's understand that. So let us say I want to extract this number 2 by applying indexing, and you know indexing now very well, right? So first of all I need to understand that as I know my tuples are nested, that means I need to first pick in which row the value resides, right? As you can see, 2 is in the first row. So what I call matrix and the first row. If I call the first row, I'll get the first tuple. Now inside that tuple I want to extract 2. 2 is in which index? 1th index. So just have to call 1 and execute the code. I'll get the number 2. Likewise, if I need to get 9, what I can do, I can apply negative indexing or positive indexing, either of them. So if I say matrix let's say 0 1 2, since I want the last one I give 2. I want this one, right? So I have 7 8 9. Now then I want the last one 9. So what I do, I'll say 2 0 1 2. If I execute the code, I can easily extract 9. So this is how you can extract values by applying indexing when you have nested tuple. I hope this part is also clear, and same example is shown here. You can read it out to understand this example. Hope it is fine. Great. Now example 9.2. Database table has a tuple of tuples, each inner tuple equal to 1 row, each position equal to 1 column. Again, same example. We have the ID, so we have tuple inside tuple. We have ID, then we have name, we have subject, we have score, we have grade. And what I did, I simply ran a loop. First. Then I simply did a tuple unpacking. In this case, if you see, I simply did a tuple unpacking that I showed you last time. Same way of doing the same thing. And this is a way of applying tuple comprehension. And you know list comprehension. The way you did list comprehension, right? The same way you can do tuple comprehension. So if you happen to watch that list comprehension wala video, please go and watch that. It will be there in the previous days. If you have watched that, you can easily recollect this one. It's same as list. So in the list we used to use this brackets, and in tuple we use these brackets, like you can see I have used here. That's the only thing you need to work on. Other than that, nothing. Okay. So if I execute the code, you can see you can calculate the you can calculate the average, maximum, minimum, same thing. like we discussed in the list. So whatever we learned in list, 90% things will be applied here also in tuple. So tuple is not that different than list, but it has some different characteristics that I discussed in this video as well as in our previous videos. So yeah, great. So again, this is another example where I have like multiple nested tuples. If you see, I have a tuple like this here. Inside this tuple you have multiple tuples, and inside each tuple, I mean inside each item, you have another tuple. So you can have data like this too. Now to extract the data like this, you can simply again you can run a loop, piece comma position. So what is the piece comma position in chess pieces? In chess pieces, piece means the king. In first iteration, piece means the king, position means the this entire tuple. For next iteration, queen is the piece and position is the tuple. Okay. And then what I did, I simply did a simple unpacking. Since this position is nothing but a tuple only, like in first iteration you are getting 0,4, in second iteration you are getting 0,3, in third iteration you are getting 0,2, in fourth iteration you are getting 0,5, correct? That is why now I can unpack on top of this also. So what I did, I created two variables, row and column, equals to position. So the first iteration, row will be 0, column will be 4. For second iteration, row will be 0, column will be 3, like this, and then we are simply printing it. I hope you have understood this part too. Same example, you can just check this out. Okay, and I have used here if else, you can check this out. It's same thing. Okay, now I talk about tuple methods. We talk about tuple methods. There is something called count method, there is something called index method. So unlike list, tuples only have two built-in methods because they are immutable, no need for add or remove methods. Since tuple is immutable, that's why we have only two methods called count and index. Count, what it does, returns how many times some number or some item appears in the tuple, and index means it returns the index of the first occurrence of the number of the item. Like right now I have dice rolls, and it has values 3, 5, 2, 6, 3, 1, 4, 3, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 1, 6, 3. So this is my dice rolls. Okay, so this is one tuple that I have. This is one tuple that I have. Right now, if I want to count, if I want to what, let me check what I wrote here. Okay, let's say if I want to count that how many times one specific number occurred. So if I just show you in a new cell, I have created something called dice rolls, right? Then what I did, simple, right? I just run a loop for num in range 0,7, num in range 0,7. I'm running a loop where I'm running the range 0,7, right? Then what I'm trying to check, print dice rolls, which is a tuple, dot count num. So what will it be? Let's make it from 1 because I do not have any 0 in my data, right? So what will happen? So numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this all will be counted. Like 1 will be counted how many times it has occurred. After that 2 will be counted how many times it has occurred. Like that it will happen till 6. If I execute the code, you will see it. See, so in the first occurrence it has checked it for 1 occurred 2 times, then num 2 occurred 2 times, then num 3. for this num, right? Since I have given a range 1 comma 7, so it will do it till 6, right? So one occurred, or if I just try to make it beautified, maybe then it will make more sense here. Let's say num occurred this many times. Now you'll understand. So on occurred 2 times, 2 occurred 2 times, 3 occurred 5 times, 4 occurred 1 times, 5 occurred 2 times, 6 occurred 3 times. So we do it like this. Okay. So I can call the count and I can get to know about the position of it, or sorry, not the position, get to know the count of it. Okay. And this is the same example of count. Okay, it has the same example of count, how to find is, how to find no, how to find maybe from one tuple, same example. Okay, and now we talk about index here. Simple. Index means what? If index means it helps you to find the position of an element. Like if you see here, in my case I have a days called Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and when I call days dot index, days is the tuple dot index fry. So Friday is the index, correct? Days dot index fry means what? That try to find the index value of this fry. So what will be the index value? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is the index or the position of this fry item. If I execute the code, you can see it. See, it is showing up. Fry is at index 4, right? Likewise, if you want to find any numbers from one table, you can do that too. Same example. Numbers, you have numbers 10, 20, 30, 20, 40, 20, and when I am trying to search number 20, it is saying number first in index occurred and the one index. Why? In this index it has occurred. Okay, but you can pass another thing. I'll just show you with some example. I mean, in a separate cell, I'll just show you that. I have these numbers, right? Now if I try to search numbers, if I try to do simple thing, let's say numbers dot index 20, it will tell me 1. Why? Because 20 occurred here. That's why it is telling 1. Correct? Because it has occurred for the first time. Now if I say numbers dot index 20, comma, since it has found 20 already, that's why it has written 1. But if I pass comma 2, what does that mean here? So it means simple. I am saying from where you want to start the searching. Like in my case, I just mentioned 20 here, right? So it has started searching from starting till the end. But when I am saying comma 2, that's why I am saying from which index you need to start searching. When I am saying comma 2, that means I am saying you start from this 30. This 30 is in index 2, right? So I am telling you start from this 30 and start searching. That's what I am telling. So when I say numbers dot index 20 comma 2, so I am telling search 20, then comma 2. That means you start searching from here. Now if you start searching from here, then it should find 20 in this index, right? If I execute the code, you will see it. It found 20 in 3 index. 0, 1, 2, 3. You will find 20 in this index. This 3 index. Okay. So this is what I have showed here with an example here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there is another thing called value error. Like let's say you want to find something that doesn't exist. Like I am searching fruits. I have a fruits tuple where I have apple, banana, cherry and date. And when I am search item is mango. When I am calling fruits dot index mango. When I am calling fruits dot index mango, mango does not exist in my tuple, so it will throw an error. it will throw an error simple that value error index is not in tuple. Okay, so instead of searching directly like this, no, there's something called safe pattern. There's something, a safe pattern is there. So you can simply check first. If search item in fruits, you can do this check in Python. If the search item there inside fruits, then this condition will be true. Then only it will apply the index operation. And if this condition is not becoming true, that means this search item does not exist inside the fruits tuple, and then it will come to the else and it will print is not in the tuple. That's it. That's it. And now the last thing, that is I think this is the last thing, or okay, it's not the last thing. I have few things to cover. The first thing is tuple versus list. When to use which? This is a question almost every Python student asks. Here is the through comparison. So if you see, if I just execute the code, you will see. See, I will discuss about the features. I will just discuss about the features. First of all, ordered features. So list and tuples both are ordered. Allows duplicates, both allow duplicates. Then mutable. When you have a scenario you want mutability, you use mutability, right? You use list. If you do not want, you want immutability, use tuple. Then can be dictionary keys. And you don't know what dictionary keys yet, we discuss in the next day. But if you want to support dictionary key, then you can use tuple, but you cannot use in list. Number of methods. So list has 11 plus methods, but tuple has only 2 methods that we discussed today. And in terms of memory usage, if I show you, so I have a list called 1 2 3 4 5 and I have a tuple called 1 2 3 4 5. If you see in memory ways also, you can see list take 104 byte storage, where tuple takes 80 bytes of storage. So tuple is 24 bytes smaller. So when you are sensitive on the memory scenarios, in such cases also you can use this tuple, because tuple is less memory. Okay, I hope this distinction is clear now. Okay, great. And this example I will discuss when I discuss about dictionary in our next day. Okay, for now let's ignore the whole section. Okay, now discuss about named tuple. What does it mean, a named tuple? So a named tuple is a special tuple where each position has a name. It gives you the benefits of both tuples: immutable, lightweight, easy readability. Right? Like how come? Let's you have a point called 10, 20 and 30. Right? And if you try to search point 2 is the index, that means you are trying to search 30. Correct? But does this numbers have any name? Like, is it x, is it y, is it z? Can't tell. We do not know what is the name of the variables, right? If you use named tuple, it can tell you which coordinate we are trying to understand. Okay, so if I just show you, like for using named tuple or give your items a name inside tuple, you need to call something called from collections import named tuple. And now inside named tuple, what is saying? Point named tuple, and inside the brackets you need to pass two things. First of all, the name of the tuple, which is point. Then you are saying the name of those items that will be stored inside the tuple, x, y, z. Then you are creating the instances of the tuple called point. So I am saying point 10, 20, 30. So now when I am calling point, this point is actually this one, which is a named tuple. And this point supports 3 values only, where the first one means x, second one means y, third one means z. Okay, you can define it like this, or you can define it like this by mentioning the names of them, or by passing the keyword argument. Okay, and then you can access them without using the indexing. You can just call their name, like p1. P1 is this point. I can call dot x. When I call dot x, that means what? The name of this value is x. So 10 will be printed. Then dot y, that means 20 will be printed. Then dot z, 30 will be printed. Like same we can do access by name. We can access by index also if you want to. Okay. So you can see the answer. Okay. This is the same example, and you can check this example by yourself. I believe you can check this example by yourself. You have the notebook access, you can check this example by yourself. Okay. Okay. So our name tuple have some special methods as dict, replace and fields. Let's discuss about that. So I'm again calling from collections import name tuple, and I'm creating a name tuple called book, which has title, author, year, pages and genre. And I have created one book, one name tuple. So what I'm saying, if I want to see all the field names, like all these names, right? If I want to see all these names, what I need to do, I need to call book1, which is the instance of book name tuple, dot underscore fields. If you call dot underscore fields, then you can see it has written all the names, right? Then if you call underscore as dict, it will convert your name tuple into a dictionary, and dictionary looks like this. Here you can see in the screen. It starts with curly braces and it has things with colon like this. You can see where this is key, this is value. Again, we discuss more about dictionary in our later days, but for now you can see this is how dictionary looks like. So if you want to convert your name tuple into dictionary, you can call underscore as dict, and you can convert that into dictionary. Okay. Another method called replace. If you want to replace something inside your name tuple, let's see, we're saying that what I'm saying here, pages equals to 240, year equals to 1993, and if I execute the, you can see where I had the page, what do I say? So if I check my data, in my data I had page 208 and I had year 1988. Now what I am saying, just replace pages 240. That means change this 208, make it 240, and change this year 1988 and make it 1993. And you can see I got a new tuple where you can see year is updated and pages is also updated. And you may have a question that I have said tuple is immutable, then how did we change it? See, I have mentioned here, name tuples are still immutable. Underscore replace creates a new instance. If you see, I have created a new variable called updated book. And inside that only you can see the new book name tuple is defined. Now I did not make any change inside this book 1. In the memory, book 1 is as it is. If I just show you for your sake of understanding, see, book 1 is still as it is, page 208 and year 1988. But if I show you the updated book, see, it has updated year 1993 and pages 240. So it has created a new book instance inside the memory. It did not make any changes inside the book 1. Like when we used append in list, right, it was making the changes directly into the memory, but in this case it is not doing that. Okay, so I hope you have understood this name tuple concept. Okay, so let us discuss the last topic, advanced patterns. Okay, and I believe these advanced patterns or these things that I am showing you here, right, these things are not required for now, because when we do the projects on Python, once our Python lectures are done, right, we will do projects on Python, right? So there you will get such scenarios to implement, and there I will do some projects using Python. On there I will show you the different advanced patterns and on those projects. Okay, because if I show you them independently, right, you will understand it but you will forget it, because these things is not that you can remember or you can spoon feed in your mind. So instead, understand the base, understand the concept. Once we are done with our Python series, then we will do the project section, and in that project section we'll discuss different projects where I'll give you some assignments, as well as I'll give you some uh, projects that I will build live in the session, and you will see that in the recording for your understanding. Okay, so I believe that way if I teach you that, that would be far better, right? So what I did, I'll quickly delete this section, and at the end I have some practice challenge that you can try and practice out. So I hope you guys have understood the tuple concept. So I have completed the tuple now. So in the next day we will discuss about sets and dictionaries inside Python. So okay guys, thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.